Oh, you died. Shocking. We've all been wrecked by a game that we love, so why do we keep coming back to them? Welcome to Tempest 2000, the game that doesn't just kick your butt, it lasers it into a million glowing neon particles while blasting techno music at you as if mocking your failure. And yet, I can't stop playing this game, and I won't stop playing it, ever. But before I explain why, we need to rewind back to 1994 when this game was first released on the Atari Jaguar console. Under the superb design and programming skills of the legendary Jeff Minter, he proved that this isn't just a game. It's a cosmic journey where space and time lose all meaning, where tubes of pure energy stretch through infinity, and where the thumping techno soundtrack permeates into your soul like a psychedelic rave that's partying at the very end of the universe. As we're about to see, Minter didn't just make a great game, he conducted a digital seance, summoning a level of action so intense, with visions so bizarre, hypnotic, and engaging, that you'll question whether you're playing a shooter or hallucinating in a Red Bull-fueled fever dream in a digitized Tron world. Back in one of my earliest YouTube videos, I showed how it can feel in the final nerve-wracking moments when playing Tetris on the NES. So in this video, we'll use a similar approach into the experience of playing through this interstellar 3D blast-em-up. So join me as we warp into unknown dimensions in this retro gaming boss review of Tempest 2000. This is one of my all-time favorite gaming experiences, so I really hope you'll enjoy it. As you pop in the cartridge, you enter the first dimension of Tempest 2000, and it seems, well, kind of manageable. With its elegant gameplay mechanics and simple controls, it's easy to pick up and get into. Progress comes natural at first, and you find your rhythm of shooting, moving, and jumping around the glorious Goro-shaded web like a pro. You get the feels of hanging out at a chill rave while you're enjoying the energy and vibes of the music while sipping on your favorite beverage. You move through a few more levels, becoming more confident in your movement and aiming. As you progress through each level, the star-filled stream of the background keeps pulling you forward into profound new dimensions as your blaster warps from one web to a next after completing each stage. And suddenly, level 15 hits, where you stepped into a digital war zone where the polygons are angry and the particle effects are out for your digital blood. This is when you realize that the game's AI doesn't just want to win, it wants to humiliate you. Enemies swarm like angry bees, and you desperately move around in frantic circles, hosing down the lanes with your rapid-fire particle laser and leaping around the edges to avoid the onslaught. And then, just when you need it most, you push the button, but realize that your super zapper's been consumed and needs another recharge. Now you're fried. Again. So you take a break and blink a few times, trying to refocus as you see the web hurtling towards you, inviting you in for another go. Here, you've entered the next dimension as you realize that Tempest 2000 is tough. But it isn't cheap. In the higher levels, the difficulty ramps up, and I'm not gonna lie, it can be absolutely brutal. But it is fair. Every death is your fault. Missed a shot? Should have aimed better. Got spiked? Should have moved out of the way in time. Or prayed. This game rewards precision like our soon-to-be AI Terminator overlords. And when you enter that perfect state of flow when time somehow slows down as you effortlessly move and shoot with machine-like precision and blast through level after level in a zen-like state, oh, I think that dopamine hit you get is actually illegal in several countries. Before we warp into the next dimension of this game, I want to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is always here for a quick retro gaming break whenever you need it. I appreciate your support since it's the only way that YouTube will highlight my videos and help me to grow. And now you've become one with the maniacal pacing and are fully dialed into the action. You've stepped through the game's third dimension squared as your subconscious begins to comprehend that the action on screen is actually the inside of a multi-dimensional tesseract of pure vibration and wave energy. You know that this is true since the Melto-Vision graphics have seared into every synapse of your mammalian brain. No! And oh, those graphics. This game looks like someone fed an Atari Jaguar some magic mushrooms and a bag of glow sticks and then yelled, "Make digital art!" The vibrant colors pulse like a futuristic disco seizure, while the rainbow-shaded panels across the wireframe seem to shift and warp like a funhouse mirror. And the explosions? It's pure fireworks at the Planck scale, like collisions of subatomic particles inside of the Large Hadron Collider. It's as if the harmless Starfield screensaver from the 90s is having a seriously bad trip and is trying to blast your retinas and fry your optical nerves. Back to Jeff Minter, this techno-wizard and woolly prophet of arcade-style video games is a man who stares into the void of code and sees only neon sheep, trippy light shows, and probably the pulsating heart of the universe itself. This eccentric genius, this demigod of psychedelic game design, didn't just program Tempest 2000, he transcended it. Like Neo in The Matrix, he was able to bend the chipset in the Atari Jaguar to his will, forcing it to vomit forth this kaleidoscopic visual masterpiece. All hail the high priest of polygon. This dude was out there in some alternate reality while coding and receiving transmissions from a higher plane. We're just lucky he decided to beam it all straight from his gigabrain into the little Jaguar cartridges to experience for ourselves. Now at this point, you've survived the maelstrom and made it into the warp levels, where Tempest 2000 suddenly decides to take a break from trying to murder you with his geometric hellspawn. As the trance music begins, it's like the stage gently whispers, "Hey man, have you ever just, looked at colors?" In a soothing instant, gone is the seizure-inducing chaos of the main game that's been replaced by a gloriously slow-mo trip through what can only be described as an infinite corridor burning a tunnel through the cosmos, obviously designed by someone who likes lava lamps a bit too much. And for those few blissful seconds, your heart rate begins to come back down as you feel like you're now floating through the deepest realms of outer space. You almost forget that you're playing a game on the Atari Jaguar until, of course, you space out for a second too long and veer off course. And then violently snapping back into reality as you realize you're still holding that godforsaken controller, which has now begun fusing with your hands. Anyway, thanks a lot for the breather there, Minter. As the techno beats start up again, your adrenal glands kick back into overdrive and you start to feel the sense of addiction to this amazing game grow stronger as you now enter into what I call, or we can just call this the dimension of Tempest 2000 enlightenment for you humans. That's right, we're talking about the game's music. Oh, the music. The soundtrack is like someone plugged the Jaguar's mighty audio DSP chip directly into some space-age Berlin nightclub.
Now's the time on sprockets, when we done.
These beats don't just accompany the chaos on screen, they fuel it. And you don't just hear that bass drop, it beats like a drum from within the depths of your soul, and is the last thing you hear before getting fried again by the sharp yellow horn shooting up the web from a demon head. Trust me, this is the only game where dying still feels like getting kicked out of the coolest party ever. The original soundtrack was composed using the Commodore Amiga mod file format and envelops you in a sonic battlefield with its gritty electronica pulse and unforgettable beats and samples. And to give you an idea of the extent that game's soundtrack gets stuck in your head, I gotta share a quick story. The next morning, after a particularly traumatic Tempest 2000 binge session, there I was, sitting in my university history exam. The Treaty of Westphalia? Despite having studied earlier, I had no fricking idea since my prefrontal cortex had been officially network jacked by Tempest 2000's hardcore techno beats the night before. Instead of recalling the key dates or important events in my exam, all I could hear was that relentless synth soundtrack thumping all over and over inside of my thick skull. And I don't know if I was the only one in class that heard it, but it even seemed that the professor's voice morphed into that game's mesmerizing. And then I swear the exam sheet started rolling up and scrolling towards me in a 3D neon tube as geometric shapes began to appear from its inner depths. It was at this point that something snapped inside, as my mind shattered and psyche exploded into 24-bit true-color molten sparks. Tempest 2000's grasp on me was now complete, and I swear I could feel its code coursing through my veins and savored every moment of it. So did I pass my exam on 17th century European politics? No.
Your mom goes to college.
But more importantly, I made a breakthrough mental projection for my strategy of how to survive that dreaded claw level. Now before we wrap it up, if you're enjoying this content, I've put a link into the description below of a playlist for all of my other videos that you might also enjoy, including some other great Atari Jaguar games, so check it out and stick around for a while. So why do those who have experienced this masterpiece continually subject themselves to the non-stop electronic blitzkrieg? Because Tempest 2000 is a masterclass in its pure and enthralling gameplay loop. It's the video game equivalent of eating a Carolina Reaper pepper. Oh, and you know it hurts so good. And the more you play it, the more you find yourself chasing the dragon, and each time you get that rush of, just one more try, man. And when you finally summon the will to conquer your fear, looking straight into the abyss and somehow beating that level that's been wrecking you for hours, you don't just feel victory. You've entered a portal to gaming nirvana that feels like weaving your way through space-time into the very fabric of the multiverse. This is only one of the rare games that I've ever bothered to purchase on multiple different platforms, including the Sega Saturn and PC versions. And despite their sharper graphics and stunning CD-based soundtrack arrangements of the original music, I still keep coming back to the OG Jaguar version, which to me is the definitive and best experience. Yeah, there were a few moments in the Jaguar version where the hardware got bogged down, causing the frame rate to dip and the action to get choppy, while the sound cut out for a second. Yup. But I guess that just gives you a moment here to scoop up all of your deep-fried neurons off of the floor and shovel them back into your head. Which is a nice break if you ask me. And just personally, the final cherry on top is that after having played this game for over a decade, I once sent Jeff Minter a total fanboy email telling him how much I enjoyed this crazy experience and thanking him for making the game. He wrote back in a very humble and kind manner, proving himself to be the 100% class act that he is, an undeniable legend of gaming. So to wrap things up, as you've now seen, Tempest 2000 isn't just a game. It's a test of will and a digital head trip that elevates the initiated into higher order dimensions and energies. And while it sometimes feels more like a digital Darwin Award simulator, it's always a good time and never overstays its welcome. Even over 30 years later, I'm still playing and relish in the sense of comfort, knowing that this game will be a part of my life forever, and I couldn't be more grateful. So do yourself a favor. Grab a Jaguar controller, turn up the volume until your ears bleed, and embrace the intoxicating cocktail of pain and endorphins that are sure to immerse you too. But that's just what I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your views. And please hit that like button to warp this video into the next level. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel, and I invite you to subscribe for more feel-good retro gaming content. Alright everyone, this is the Retro Gaming Boss signing out, reminding you to keep your games old school and keep that Super Zapper recharged. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.